Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Wow equals Words of Wisdom number 14. Take care of yourself. I know that I have heard those words throughout my life from various people. Um, Sometimes I've heard it, when I have shared a situation with them um, that was going on in my life that wasn't good or wasn't pleasant or what have you, or might have seemed like it was a sad situation. And the person just kind of responded at the end of the conversation with, hey, take care of yourself. And I think that is just sometimes it's just the catch-all phrase that we tend to end our conversations with when we don't know what to say or what to do for that person, that's going to help make the situation better. So you just kind of tell them, take care of yourself for what that's worth. But when you really think about those words, take care of yourself, we have to ask ourselves the question, are we taking care of ourselves? And first and foremost, I want to, you know, talk about this statement, take care of yourself, from the perspective of, are we doing what we need to do for ourselves spiritually? Because many times we are looking at the lives of other people, and we are looking at what they're doing and what they're not doing, and making comments and suggestions and giving advice and things of that nature. And we're you know trying to fix up the lives of other people. But are we taking care of ourselves? Are we looking at our lives and seeing whether we are doing the things that are necessary in our own lives to make sure that we are growing, in our relationship with the Most High Yah, that we're being balanced, that we're being disciplined, that we're being consistent, on a daily basis? We've got to ask ourselves that question. Are we taking care of our own selves? Because I really believe that if we really invested more time in taking care of our own selves spiritually, instead of looking and trying to take care of everybody else's lives, there will be a lot less strife and confusion going on amongst the people of the Most High Yah. If we were, productive in taking care of our own selves, our own situations, our own circumstances, starting first and foremost spiritually, are we taking care of our own selves? Are we doing what we need to do every day to make sure that we're growing and developing and getting better in our relationship with the Most High Yah? Are we investing that time in prayer? Are we investing that time in praise and worship with the Most High Yah? Are we investing that time in meditating on the Torah and the rest of Scripture? Are we investing that time meditating on the Most High Yah and who He is? Who He is. And, are we doing what it takes to grow closer in our relationship with Yah? Are we taking care of ourselves? Are we doing that? Or are we looking at everybody else and trying to compare and contrast and saying, well, if they're not doing it like I'm doing it, if they're living like this, so they're not right, they're not this, they're not that. But we're not taking the time out to examine our own selves, to make sure that our lives are lined up with the commandments of Yah? Are we making sure that we are being obedient? Are we making sure that we are, walking out the fruit of the Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart spirit in our own lives? When people see us, do they see us, walking out the scriptures in our own lives? Or do they see us, talking about what somebody else isn't doing all the time? Do they see us trying to take care of everybody else and everybody else's situation and everybody else's circumstance? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Are we taking care of our own selves? You know? And so spiritually, are we doing that? Are we doing what it takes to continuously grow? you know and so I have to ask myself that question, and I'm really, especially in recent years, I have really tried to go about the business of taking care of my own self, learning and growing and really getting an understanding of the word for my own self, and learning how to take care of myself spiritually. And yes, I see the things that other people do and say and how they live, you know but I try my best not to get involved in the lives of other people, in finger pointing and just constantly in somebody else's business. Okay. I try to take care of my own self spiritually. And so to make sure that I am where I need to be, in the eyesight of Yah. And this is very, very important because it's so easy to get caught up in, somebody else's situation, somebody else's circumstances, somebody else's business, you trying to fix somebody else's problems and things of that nature. And I know that that's something that I've had to work on in my life, always being worried and concerned, about everybody else's stuff. But I had to learn that I have to work on my own self. I have to work on my own self. There are times that when I am led by the Spirit of the Most High Yah to help someone or speak into their lives or about their situation to them, yes, those opportunities are going to be there. But you can't spend your entire life, just trying to take care of everybody else, and you don't look at your own life and evaluate where you are, spiritually, and make those adjustments that need to be made, each and every day to make sure that you're moving forward and not backwards. So think about that, spiritually. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing what you need to do to make sure that you're moving forward spiritually and not backwards, not backsliding? Okay. Now, are you taking care of yourself, mentally and emotionally? And this is also very, very important because of the fact that, you know, a lot of people go through a lot of things that are negative mentally and emotionally. Some people are in relationships that are very toxic and very mentally and emotionally draining. And many times we stay in these relationships out of habit. We stay in these relationships out of habit. We stay in these relationships because we're afraid of what's going to happen after they end. And we, quite frankly, we've gotten, used to dysfunction. And next thing you know, we're not taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally. And we allow people to become mental and emotional vampires where they literally suck the very life out of us. And next thing you know, we're in a place that we don't want to be because of the fact that we're not taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally. And I want to share this with you today. It is okay for you to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally. You don't have to put up with abusive situations and circumstances. I don't care who you are. And that was something that I had to learn, that I didn't have to let people beat up on me. You know, most of all, physically, I didn't have to let people, beat up on me verbally and mentally and emotionally and, treat me any kind of way. I had to learn to take care of myself. And in learning how to take care of myself mentally and emotionally, I had to learn how to stand up for myself in the right way. And so you got to start doing that. If you are dragged down mentally and emotionally, you may have to, go before the Most High Yah in prayer and seek his face and ask him what you need to do so that you can get to the correct place mentally and emotionally so that you can start functioning as the Most High Yah has called you to function mentally and emotionally in your life. This is a part of taking care of yourself. This is very, very important, because if you are messed up mentally and emotionally and your mind is cluttered and bogged down and you're stressed out and you're full of anxiety, you're not taking care of yourself, and that's going to affect every area of your life. And you're not going to be able to, move forward in a positive way in your life. You're not going to be able to really function, you know, and, like you're supposed to in your relationship with the Most High Yah, first and foremost. And then you're not going to be able to function, at the level and the degree in which you're supposed to function with other people either, if you're not taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally. And so I've really had to learn to do this. This is something that I did not do throughout my life. Just learning how to do this in recent years. And a lot of times I was just always trying to help somebody else and take care of somebody else. And especially, if you are married and you're a mother and or a father and you have children and you have responsibilities, you have family, you can get consumed with taking care of your families. If you're a husband or a wife, it doesn't matter. We have, you're married, you have children. We have roles that we function in. And sometimes we get out of balance in those roles. Men and women can get out of balance in those roles. And next thing you know, we're not taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally. And we are, just dragged down, or we're in relationships that are toxic and don't work. Some of these relationships are in our families. Some of them are in, on our jobs. Some of them may be people that we are friends with. It might be people that are in our neighborhood, our neighbors, whatever the case might be. But the relationships have, really taken a toll on us, mentally and emotionally. And so you may have to take an inventory of who you're associated with. And you may have to change the terms of those relationships. You may have to, some of the relationships you may have to walk away from completely in order for you to have that mental and emotional peace that you need and balance that you need going forward. And so that you can function in your relationship with the Most High Yah as he has called you and designed you to function um, in your relationship with him and with other people as well. And, you gotta really look at this. If you're really having a hard time with this, like I said, I've had a hard time with this for many, many, many years, and I'm just starting to really understand how important it is for me to be in the right place mentally and emotionally, and to take care of myself, you know, in these areas of my life. I've spent a lot of years, struggling in that area. Well, just full of anxiety, full of fear, full of stress, worried all the time, from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Where I may have helped a lot of people, but the next thing I know, I'm just totally, spent, burnt out, exhausted, you know, um, nothing left. And after a while, you don't have anything left to share with other people if you're not in the right place mentally and emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And then physically, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Our bodies are not going to function at the level that they have been designed to function in if we don't take care of ourselves. And I'm saying this to myself as a daily reminder, okay? Because this is an ongoing work for me to keep taking care of myself, making sure that I get enough sleep, making sure um, that I'm eating the right foods, making sure that I'm not taking things into my body that are going to be toxic and that are going to be hurtful and harmful to my body, making sure that, that I get enough exercise and enough activity in my life and enough movement in my life, and being balanced with all of that. Um, you know, if you're dealing with sickness and infirmity and disease, you didn't get that way, you know, just by overnight. That happened of years of you not taking care of yourself. Years of me not taking care of myself to the level and degree that we should have been. And so now is the time to start taking the evaluation of whether you're taking care of yourself physically. If you want to live out your full days, you've got to take care of yourself. A lot of times we depend on doctors to take care of us. Uh, they don't always have your best interests at heart. There are some out there that really have, their patient's best interests at heart. But more often than not, they're trying to treat your symptom. And I know that I have gone to the doctor sometime, with an issue, and they barely even looked at me. But they were constantly, trying to talk me into a shot or a pill or a prescription. So, I really my eyes got open to the fact that I needed to learn how to take care of myself physically, so that, everybody's talking about living their best life. You can only live your best life, if you take care of yourself. Be responsible for taking care of yourself physically. Get the rest that you need, get the exercise that you need, eat, eat the right foods. If you need to do some research so that you can learn how to do this right, not, with the latest diet or the latest fad, but really learn how to eat to live instead of living to eat. And there is a huge difference between the two. And I'm learning how to do that, and take those steps and do them consistently and do them daily over time. And then you'll start seeing the results from you, making that commitment to take care of yourself physically. Now, it's going to take a renewal of your mind. It's going to take, you changing the way that you look at and view yourself physically. It's not always going to be easy when all of the people that may be around you may be doing the total opposite of what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. But stick with it. If you've already started doing things to take care of yourself physically, stick with it. I encourage you not to give up, not to throw in the towel, but to stick with it. And as you continue to see, small changes in your body, you start feeling healthier. Yes, your body starts looking different and starts looking better. You may start losing weight. Some of the symptoms that you may have been experiencing may begin to diminish and go away completely. You may be able to come off of different prescriptions that you may have been taking, but those are you know outward you know symptoms of you taking care of yourself. So think about that. Are you taking care of yourself spiritually? Are you taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally and physically? Okay, pray about that as you go throughout your day to day. And as the Most High Yah, through his set apart spirit, starts to reveal things to you that you need to adjust, that you need to change, that you need to transition away from. You may have to go through a time of asking for forgiveness, because some of the things that you may have been doing or participating in or attaching yourself to may be, sinful in his eyesight. Do that as well. Humble yourself, and start taking care of yourself, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically today. So I just want to thank you for joining me for WOW equals Words of Wisdom number 14. And I pray that you have a positive, powerful, and productive day. Shalom. I'll see you next time.